Hello, everybody.
We are late. It's my fault.
We
I'm
are
sorry.
late technically, but we're actually really early. We're actually
Yeah,
3 hours early.
late and early at the same time.
Yes. Yes. So, hello, everyone. Thank you all for tuning in. I'm not able to see right now if anybody's here live, but if you are, hello to everyone
I don't see anyone
live.
yet.
Okay. Hello to everyone that tunes in on the replay. This is Pages and Perspectives with Osland and T. So, Pages and Perspectives is a live community centered book club where we explore meaningful books through open conversation, reflection, and real life application.
Great job. You didn't do what I did.
I was like, oh, wait. And of course, I want to find a way to title this because it's not really ground rules, but I guess the vibes here are we talk openly, we share our perspectives. You do not have to read the book to join into the conversation because we will start off with a summarization of everything. And the way that it happens with different perspectives, the conversation just kind of flows and builds on its own. But it
Mhm.
is a space for open communication, not a space to judge and correct. We listen, we don't judge. Okay. So
Nice.
thank you all for being here. Um, of course, we're reading the Let Them Theory right now and wrapping up on our first book. So that's major. That's major to
Yes.
everyone. Like for people that's been tuning in and me and UT major. We're almost done with the Let Them Theory. This week we did chapters 16 through 18, and T's gonna give us a overview of those chapters.
Yes. Before I get started, I want to acknowledge Rhonda and Kendi K. We are live today a little early because of the Super Bowl.
Yes.
We know everybody's going to be tied up with their team jerseys on,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
watching
Cooking
the
and eating
game,
and
eating
partying.
wings.
Yes. Absolutely.
So we wanted to
Thank you,
go
Kendi. She
early.
said, look at y'all in the cute hair club.
Oh, thank you,
Thank you.
Kendi.
I'm not gonna lie, I like this little unit. It was like 20 something dollars on Amazon.
No
And I was
way. It's
like,
cute.
okay. Something in between because I really want to get my hair twisted or braided, but I have yet to make an appointment. So
I love it.
thank you, Kendi, also.
So
What's up,
I will go
Ben
ahead.
Dodgers wrong? All right, I'm done.
Okay. Welcome, Ding. So I'm just going to give a brief overview of the chapters that we went through this week. Excuse me if I'm reading, I put it on my little notepad here so I don't miss anything. We did chapters 16, 17, and 18 this
Hmm.
week. So those are the chapters that we're reviewing this week. The first chapter, chapter 16, is the more you rescue, the more they sink.
Hmm.
So this overview of this chapter is about situations where an adult that you care about or even a young adult that you care about is doing something that can lead to serious trouble or worse things later. Think drugs, alcohol, mental health issues, think
Hmm.
anxiety, things like that. Adults and young adults, they'll gravitate toward the thing that is most comfortable. So that's why change is so hard because
Hmm.
it's so comfortable just to do what you've been doing than to make any change.
Hmm.
It's easier just to stay in the same old, same old.
Right.
So that person's not going to change. They're not going to do anything different until they are ready to do so. There is really nothing you can do to make them do it,
Hmm.
but they have to basically I almost think about it like she almost described it almost as when you're thinking about people saying rock bottom. They have to
Yes.
hit they have to hit a point where it's more uncomfortable to stay
Yes.
where they are
Hmm.
than it is to make the change.
Hmm.
And that's for anything. And that's rough. Like that really brought it into
And very
perspective.
true. And T, this crazy because what I just told you, I was confused by my gym drop. That's the part. That's it
Hmm.
right there. I was like, I couldn't find it.
Yep.
But yeah, That was really good. Uh-huh.
So when dealing with these kind of issues with someone, it's always better to face the problem because avoidance really just makes it worse.
Hmm.
But just remember that the change has to come from that person. You can't do it. You can't take the reins and make them change. They
Hmm.
have to do it. So that was chapter 16. Now, chapter 17 is about how to provide support to someone that's going through something in the right way. And there, the way she describes it is about not enabling the person. You can't, I know as a mother, I've done this. You
Hmm.
try to, your kid gets into some kind of financial trouble and you're trying to pay their way out of it.
Hmm.
You're trying to
Right.
save them from the consequences. But sometimes,
Hmm.
in fact, a lot of times, the person has to go through it
Right.
to learn the lesson.
Hmm.
And so she talks about not enabling, not throwing money at the problem, not taking care of the problem for them,
Hmm.
or coddling them. So none of this will work because the person has to believe they are capable
Yep.
of solving the problem themselves. So basically, when we coddle and do all those things, we're almost telling the person, I don't believe you have the strength in you to
Hmm.
solve the problem. So you're basically telling them they're not strong enough to do it
Right.
themselves.
Yep.
So when you don't enable, you actually give them the strength inside to say, okay, well, let me take a look at myself. I think I can solve this problem. I think I can do it myself.
Yes. Because when you have no other choice, you seem to just figure it out.
Isn't that the truth though, Osling?
Yes. Yes.
When stuff comes up, all the things you think you can do, seems like when you're faced with no other option,
Hmm.
you figure it out
Yep.
every time. And hello, Allison and Kendi and Rhonda and everyone in the chat. Thank you guys for showing up for us. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
So that was basically chapter 17 in a nutshell. Chapter 18 is about let them show you who they are. Oh my goodness, boy. I think we have all experienced a situation where you're either with someone or trying to forge a relationship with someone, and it doesn't
Hmm.
have to be romantic, but you're
Hmm.
trying to forge a relationship, you're putting in so much effort, they're
Hmm.
clearly showing you they're not interested.
Right.
They don't feel the same. They're
Hmm.
not going to put in the same effort you're putting in. They don't may not even really like you that much.
Yep.
And they're showing you all those signs, but you feel like, okay, if I just do this,
Hmm.
if I just keep trying, eventually they'll come around.
Hmm.
No, they're showing you exactly who they are.
Absolutely.
And
Yep.
that could be from friendships. A person could be showing you, I don't really care about you, your feelings, or anything. And they
Hmm.
could be showing you that over and over again, but we still keep trying to make it work.
Right.
And that is not always the best thing.
Hmm.
In fact, most times it's not. And hello, what's that? Neglection?
Yeah.
Neglection.
Kind of
I love that
collection.
name. Very cute name.
Welcome.
I like that. But that's not in most instances that's not the right thing to do. The right thing to do is to accept to let them
Hmm. Yep.
not really to let them show you who they are and then you act accordingly.
Hmm.
You don't have to put yourself in a situation where you're almost begging someone
Yes.
for their attention,
Yep.
time, love,
Hmm.
care.
Yep.
So those are the chapters. Those are my brief overview. I won't go into any more depth because I'm interested to hear Oslin's take on this
Yes.
week's reading.
Man, the overview, even when I do it myself, like, because, I read it or listen to it or both, but when I prepare the overview for this, it brings it all together. and listening to yours, it does the same thing. So like as you were talking, I had so many thoughts. The first chapter 16 was about, what was it? The more you rescue, the more they rescue, the more you rescue, the more they sink.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a very, 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 very powerful statement because it's true. If you don't know how to properly support someone, you know,
Yes.
which she did share how to properly support someone. And I will more than likely share that in my dream job because I just felt like it was really good.
Yes, and I
Um,
thought, yes, it
yeah.
is. Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, the reason why that's so tricky for people is because the people that may be spiraling, or making bad decisions, like we really do love these people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I don't want to enable you and I don't feel like I'm enabling you, but I just want to be there for you. But she's basically saying, and it's a hard truth, but it is a truth. The more you give someone like a cop out type of thing, the more they don't learn. And what I want to say about that too, because I'm kind of thinking about my own life, in that perspective also. I some of the examples she used I could not relate to because again I'm just from a different world than Mel Robbins. So it was someone she was talking about how you don't want your parents in your business because you feel like you're grown, but your parents pay for everything. So as long as they pay for everything, they have a right to make comments and do stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I can't relate to that. I honestly have been taking care of myself since I was 21 years old. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and so I mean, and then my mom passed when I was 18, as most people know. But my dad has always been there as a buffer. My dad has
Right.
always been there as a dad. Like I need this, and I'll always get. I call it back. I call it paying back the bank.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been times where I might borrow some money from my dad. I might need it again 2 weeks later, and he didn't even move it from wherever he sent it. He's
That
like,
sounds like me. See,
it's
that
still
is
right.
me, right?
He's like, it's still right there.
Mm-hmm.
But even with that level of support, my dad, never, it wasn't ever a cop out situation. So I've
Mm-mm.
not ever really been in situations where I needed somebody to help me or bail me out of a situation I didn't learn from it. Because at the end of the day,
Yes.
I'm still doing the work. But I'm so happy to have this supportive person in my corner, right? But the some of the situations that she talked about is like maybe somebody that suffers with addiction of some sort.
Yeah.
Um, and it's like we know that with addiction, it's one of those things that like they could really want to change, but
It's
addiction is
hard.
just that. They're going to go back. And so if you
Yes.
keep bailing someone out of a situation that they keep returning to, that's the just of that chapter, like the more they
Mm-hmm.
sing. So I really felt that. Um and then my other favorite chapter, honestly, was the one about love. So the next couple chapters are going to be about love as we're wrapping up the book. Oh yeah, and next week will be our last week in this book too, by the way, y'all. So
Yes.
um, the part about what you were talking about, T, and that's another. That's why I had y'all. We do one gem drop typically, but I had two parts of this book that I was
Two
like,
this time.
I really want to share both of these things. And the one, and I'm not gonna share it now because we're gonna get your reflection seat.
Mm-hmm.
But um the part about when somebody really wants you or somebody really loves you, it's so undeniably clear in their actions. It's so undeniably clear in how they treat you, how they show up for you, how they communicate with you. And me as being somebody who kind of had to go through my own healing journey, I'm not sure if, y'all that are watching are familiar with attachment theory. That's something that I studied, learned a lot about. I learned my own attachment style and I had to heal myself from my attachment style, which was like a fearful avoidant attachment style, meaning um like I was in between seeking validation in love. And also, if I receive it, I pull back. So
Mm.
I got two issues. Okay. I'm like, I have some hole that needs to feel love, but don't get too close because then I'm gonna start
Right.
avoiding. Right. Thank God that you can heal your attachment style.
You
I'm
can.
so happy that that's not one of those things that's like stagnant because I have healed my attachment style. And I feel like, or I know for sure that once I did heal my attachment style, meaning up my level of self worth, up the way that I think about myself, really, understand who I am as someone
Hmm.
created not only in God's image, but just someone that was raised with, like, just who I am as a person. It started, that first helps you to see how someone could love you whole, like completely,
Yes. In
So it's
totality.
in totality, exactly. And
Hmm.
so that's a journey of healing. But I say that to say that when I met my husband, Logan Michael, it was literally the like so clear. When when you hear, like, if you're a person that maybe is not in a relationship, or I don't even know, but I used to hear this when I was single, like, about how serious you can tell how somebody feels about you in their actions. And I'll just be like, oh, that's nice, No. When it's like, it's so clear. I mean, no room for doubt, no nothing.
Mm.
And so when I do get to my gym job, I want to read that part because she's talking about how even mixed signals is a sign. It's only yes and no. Mixed signals don't really exist. You somebody not making time for you or certain things, not prioritizing, like slight self disrespect, all that. None of it's accidental. All of that is a clear sign, but you definitely have to, as cliche as it may sound, love yourself so deeply to where you can see it as soon as it happens. You know that mixed signals, nope. I don't care what type of connection you done made in your head with this person, or how you feel like y'all would, like, she even said that, I think, oh my, our kids would be so
Don't even go there.
don't even, like,
Just
don't
look at
even
what
just
they
look
are
at what they're
showing you.
doing.
Yes.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yep.
So yeah, these are really good chapters.
They were. They were.
All right, some comments real quick.
Yeah.
All right. Kendi K said, let them folks be over there away from me. Amen. um,
Seriously.
yeah. Oh my gosh. And
Do have
then
some trolling going on.
being a little bit trolling. That means we're being pushed out. Yay, yay, yay. Thank you
Yeah.
for the engagement.
Thank you for that.
Um, Kendi K said so many gems. Kendi K said, don't forget to add viewer comments, rollover comments. Oh, you mean like on the screen? We should definitely do that.
Oh yeah, we should. Oh,
All right. Oh, and Alex to say, how do you find your attachment style? So, it was a website that I went on. It's called the Personal Development School. She's actually she has a YouTube channel, Personal Development School, but there's also like a little quiz that you can test to learn your attachment style. I'll link it also for you, Allison. But I will say this is one of those tests, like, nobody's gonna know the answers that you're putting, but be as honest as possible when you take it so you can really know what your attachment style is. And I feel like me healing, starting with that, because everybody's healing journey is a little bit different. Mine's was attachment theory first. And just healing that side of me has literally changed my life in so much in 3 years. 3 years, because it started in 2023, but it's very, very powerful in a good way. So yeah, personal development school.
I'm trying to see if there are any other questions too.
We
I
are
don't
smart.
see any.
We is smart. We is kind. We are important. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. I
Oh,
think we got all.
cool.
What's
Oh,
up?
you added that just
I
now, right?
did.
That's
I did.
cool.
Don't ask me how I did it because I don't know. Don't ask. I'm just pressing buttons. But yeah, so my God, what did I take from this week? There's so many things. There's so many things. Um, I definitely could relate to that last chapter
Hmm.
about trying to almost romanticize
Yes.
something that you
Hmm.
absolutely know is not working.
Hmm.
The person is not reciprocating. They are not giving back or even giving half of what you're putting in. They're
Right.
literally showing you. And I've done this with friendships, I've done it with romantic
Yeah, because it
relationships.
don't have to just be romantic. It
No,
could be. It
it
could
doesn't
even be a
have to.
job. It can be a job or
Yes.
career relationship.
And that's what I thought about too. Because I was going to say that a job, I've done it with jobs where you're just giving and giving and giving, thinking that
Hmm.
you're going to get that back. You're going to get that reciprocation of, great job, or, here's that promotion or
Right.
something like that. And they're clearly showing you,
Yeah, that they don't value
no,
you. Yeah.
we don't value you.
Hmm.
So and I think that's the part that stuck out to me the most this week. I could definitely relate to all three chapters, but that one kind of like hit me close to
Hmm.
home because I could remember each stage of my life
Yes. Same.
where I
Hmm.
was doing that.
Right. And
And
that's the moment I stop and say, thank you for growth. Thank you
mhm,
so much. Like, gosh, it feels good.
I think that was the part that for me,
Hmm.
every one of these chapters at the end, that is one of my foremost thoughts was thank you for growth.
Yes.
Because I could see where I have done each one of these things,
Hmm.
been in situations just like this,
Hmm.
and I've tried to fix people.
Right.
If we're talking about the chapter about the more you rescue, the more they sink, I've tried to be Mrs. Fix It.
Hmm.
I'm gonna solve everything. I'll do it for you. I will.
Right.
I'll make the effort. I'll try, and I'll do. Because you're trying to fix it for a person that you care about, but you can't.
Mm-mm.
They have to fix themselves.
Hmm.
Nothing you can do, no money you can throw at it,
Right.
no anything that you can do is going to make them make any significant change, even if it's a needed change, a much
Hmm.
needed change, until they want to do it. And I think
Yeah.
that's a very hard pill to swallow.
Hmm.
At
And
least for me, it has
hmm
been.
right. And even I don't want to say harder, but also like probably equally as hard is the part where she talked about, you touched on it in your overview, by doing that, by copping someone out every single time, you're basically saying, I don't believe that you can do this.
Hmm.
Let me do it for you. I don't believe that. And,
Hmm.
and in your the forefront of your mind is not thinking it. The forefront of your mind is, I love this person. I want to help them. Oh my gosh, they did it again. I need to help them.
Hmm.
But what you're really saying is, I don't believe that you can do this yourself.
I don't trust you have the strength to push through this problem on your own. I don't believe you have the ability to come up with a solution.
Right.
That's what you're saying, really.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
But and so each one of these, like I said, each one of the I don't have one particular thing that hit me because each one of these chapters had something in it
Right.
that I was like, oh man.
Mm-hmm.
I could literally see myself
Yes.
in that time.
Mm-hmm.
Like what I was doing, what I was saying. I was like, man, this person showed you 1,000 times that they didn't
Right.
like give a rat's patootie about
Mm-hmm.
you, your feelings, or anything else, and you were still trying, still trying. It's almost like you think you're gonna win them over.
Yes.
I'll make you see it my way. I'll make
Right.
you.
Or for me, it's talking about like in our relationship way. For some reason, I thought that they didn't know better. Like they didn't know what they were doing. They didn't
Mhm.
know that this might hurt me or this might, you know. And then it's just like it's like you look back. I can look back at it at myself, and I don't feel any type of way because I'm a learner.
Hmm.
I will learn my lesson. Okay, like,
Hmm.
and it don't take much. It really don't. I might not be the type of person like you can tell me, maybe you can warn me about something, and I still have to see for myself. But once I see it, no, that's it. But it's just like I remember going through stuff like that. Like maybe this person doesn't know, and it's just kind of like yeah, they knew. But
Or
anyway,
maybe they've never been loved before. They've never
yeah.
experienced real love. How many times have we told ourselves that?
Mm-hmm.
This person just doesn't know what it's like to really be loved by someone. So
Right.
I'm going to love them
Mm-hmm.
so much that they're going to be like, oh my goodness, this is the love I've been missing all my life. And
And
then
then
you're
they're
going
just
to be
gonna
the.
magically return it all to me. No.
Mhm.
It's
Not working.
not
Absolutely
work-
not. Not going to
it's not gonna work.
happen.
No. Um,
Hi, Kat.
and then
Welcome.
another part I related to a lot was because I was talking a little bit. Hi, Cat. A little what I was saying earlier is as far as the more you rescue, the more they sink. That part, I've never been on the rescuing side, but I have sunk, and I can
Mhm.
say firsthand that sinking, whether it be mentally, financially, whatever, is literally what catapulted me back up. I
Ooh.
can literally say that because even before, like I was telling you about my healing journey, even before my healing journey, I had a moment where it was my rock bottom, which I'm not trying to be like discreet about it right now. I have a
Mhm.
I have a whole video about it. It's called "How Beyonce in the Renaissance Era Saved My Life,"
Mhm.
which people probably never click that and think that I'm going to be talking about what I'm talking about. But that's
Mhm.
it. I hit rock bottom at one point in my life, and from then on, it was nowhere but up. So I related to her sharing it that way because it may be hard to see somebody, go so low. Or I'm not gonna say it may be hard. It is hard because like we love them. But that's the only way.
And my rock bottom. I mean, I lost everything. I
Right.
had nowhere to live.
Mm-hmm.
I had my daughter until I mean I went through it. That was my rock bottom. And it
Yep.
probably has crafted some of the ways that I do things now.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my backup plan to a backup plan to a backup
Yeah.
plan that came from
Right.
that experience. It
Mm-hmm.
does change you. It does change you, you know.
Absolutely.
So
But I love that even in our own ways, and I know people in the comments can relate to this too, and people that might be watching on the replay. Um, you know that but when you've done it, you know that you're living proof. And you also know, I know for me personally, I don't feel like I'm so special that I did something that the next person can't do. I believe that
correct.
because I did it, anybody can do it. I really do believe that. Like if I did this, anybody can do this. You know?
I absolutely feel the same way, and I've seen it too many
Hmm.
times. I've seen people do it. I've seen it. So yeah,
Absolutely.
same, Osland, same.
All right. So we want me to go ahead and do the gym drop? Gym drop
Drop
number one?
those gems.
All right. So again, y'all, I said that I had two this week. I won't read like the whole of everything, but the first one comes from how to chapter 17, which was how to provide the support the right way. Because of course, chapter 16 is what we've been mostly talking about is all the ways that you can not show enable somebody. But this part of the whole chapter really hit for me. And it says how to create the best possible environment for healing. One of my favorite ways to support someone is thinking about how you can create an environment to help someone get better. What does that mean? There's a lot of research about the role that your physical environment plays in your mental, spiritual, and physical health. It's everything from the space you live in, the clutter around you, the food in your fridge, the people that you spend time with, and the plans in your calendar. Ask yourself, how can I create an environment that makes change and getting better easier? There are a million ways you can do this, but I want to start with an example from my life. So yeah, I guess I'll just read the whole thing or
Yes,
read
just
her
go ahead,
example
read
too.
it. Because this is
Okay.
some good stuff.
Yeah. All right. She said, when our first daughter was born, I had a very complicated delivery and lost a lot of blood. By the time I was finally discharged and sent home, I was not only physically destroyed, but mentally dealing with severe postpartum depression.
Mm.
It was so bad that I couldn't be left alone with our baby for the first 4 months of her life. I couldn't breastfeed because of the medications I was on, and I was so depleted. I spent most of the day sleeping or sitting like a zombie on the couch. What I remember most is that no one asked me how they could help. They just showed up and created an environment for my healing without asking. My
Mm.
cousin came over to clean. My friends drove across the country and sat with me for weeks. My new friend, Joni, who was pregnant at the time, would come and sit and keep me company so Chris could go to work. And while I was dozed off to sleep, she would do a load of laundry or make a simple lunch. My in-laws came in for a week and every day had something planned. Without even asking, they would say, "All right, come on, we're going to the Boston Flower Show." And they would load me and the baby in the car. And even though I was still a zombie and still deeply depressed, they created an environment where I got out of the house and began to step back into life again. No one asked me, what help do you need? No one asked me, do you want me to do the laundry? No one asked me, do you want me to drop off dinner tonight? They just did it. And that is an important note about people who are struggling. Let them doesn't mean leave them alone. When you're struggling, you don't know what you want or what you need. Some days you don't even know what day it is. Have you ever noticed that when a friend asks you when a friend you ask who is grieving, going through a breakup, or just got out of the hospital, how can you help? They often say, "It's okay, I'll be fine. Nothing," or "I don't need anything." When you're struggling, you don't want to burden anyone else because you already feel like a burden. Let me create the environment they need to get better. Here are some examples of things you can do: show up at their doorstep, drop off dinner, help them clean their apartment, fill their fridge with healthy food, walk into their bedroom and pull the shades open and lift up the windows to let air in, do their laundry, make a playlist of great songs, send them podcast episodes that will give them hope, send them care packages filled with thoughtful and nurturing things, or buy them a digital picture frame and load up photos photos so in their environment they're constantly reminded of happy memories and people around them.
Mhm. I love
So
that.
me too.
I
Like,
love that.
yes, because you don't like even if you decide that you don't want to enable somebody by giving them money or what other ways you can enable people, it doesn't mean you have to leave them stranded.
That
You
segment
just,
actually made me think of Kendi talking about her friend
yes,
last
uh-huh,
time.
yep, she
That's
sure
the
did give an
kind
example
of
like that.
support. That's the kind of support and being there for someone going through something. That was a demonstration of that in real life. She gave
Absolutely.
real life demonstration.
Yep. Yep. And practical things, you know what I mean? Like practical things. And for me personally, it's gonna make this reading this is gonna make me realize when I want to ask that question and what I can do different. Like let me know if you need anything. Cause that can, from the person saying it, it can be the most genuine thing. Like, let me know. What can I help you with? But you have to remember, if somebody's struggling with something and they're going through things, they do not want to burden you. And I know I can relate to that. See, I know me and you share that, that
Woo!
like we don't
Hmm.
really want to ask for help, even though may know we have people that support us. So just showing up, that's
Think
the
of
best
how
thing you
many
can do.
times somebody said that to you.
Hmm.
Let me know. Let me know if you need anything.
Yeah.
And you knew you did, but you
Hmm.
did not open your mouth. Think about how many times that's
Absolutely.
happened to you, because that's what I thought about.
Mm-hmm.
Every time somebody said
Right.
that I said, "Oh no, I'm fine,"
Mm-hmm. Because it just seems like a
knowing.
formality. It just seems
Hmm.
like a formality. Like that's just a nice thing to say if you know somebody's going through something.
Hmm.
That's what I'm saying. Like even the people that, because honestly, sometimes I personally will not say it if I don't mean it because I just don't want to be held to something. Like I don't want to, you
Right.
know, what if they do reach out? Like if I don't mean it, I'm not gonna say it. But when people say it to me, sometimes I just, like I say, I think it's a formality. I think it's just like the kind thing to do. Um,
But some people
but
mean it though,
but
Oslan.
some people mean it.
They
Yeah, some
really
people
mean
mean
it.
it. Right. And so that's what I was
Hmm.
gonna say is thank you for bringing me back because I was about to lose my thought. um some people mean it, and for the people that do mean it, and this is something I'm taking for myself, just do it.
Hmm.
Just do it. Don't even ask. Just do it. There's something you can do that will help. It don't have to be big. She gave a whole list of things. It can be small, but it's meaningful and practical.
And that's what I took from that whole section. How many times how can I better show up for
Right.
someone that I'm trying to give support to, instead
Hmm.
of just saying, "Call me if you need me."
Yeah.
you know, maybe just reaching out and doing instead of asking. You know,
Hmm.
love that, Jim Osland.
Yep. All right. Let's read some comments. Rhonda said, "I believe
Yes.
you have to hit rock bottom to grow. I do believe that, and I know that from personal experience." Hello, Chef. How are you?
Hi, Sabrina.
Hi, Sabrina. How are you, Sabrina? Kenny K, what are you cooking? Are you cooking for Super Bowl? What are you cooking?
Yeah, we want to know. We want to know.
And if y'all are watching the Super Bowl, who's gonna win? I put a poll on my thing. I said Seattle Seahawks, New England Patriots, Bad Buddy, duh. Or Bad Bunny, is he gonna win?
That was good.
All right. Who you have, T?
Who for
Who are,
winning?
yeah.
I don't know. I don't really watch football like that.
Oh really? I didn't know
I
that.
only watch football at this time because my husband we usually have wings and all that good stuff, and I'm just kind of like supporting his viewing. And
Yeah.
I love the entertainment,
Uh-huh.
the halftime show.
Yeah.
But I'm really not a I'm just not a football kind of girly. I would
Alex just
watch
said,
basketball more than football.
yeah. Alex just said, who's playing again? There was a section on my poll for you too, Allison. It said, the Super Bowl is today. That is who's playing today? Seahawks and Patriots.
Patriots. But if I had, well, no, I'm not even gonna say that.
What?
I would say if I had to choose between the two,
Uh-huh. Who you pick?
I wouldn't want. Oh man, I don't want it to be the Patriots.
Me neither.
I want it to be Seattle if I had to choose between the two.
Yeah. I'm going with Seattle.
So I would go
Absolutely.
with Seattle.
I'm going with Seattle. But yeah, football is a thing. Like I always like football, and then I just married someone that literally, well, obviously the end of football season is here with the Super Bowl. Football has been on every weekend, the entire season, Saturday and Sunday,
That's what
football
I'm
and
talking about.
college. But
And that's why I say I really don't know much about the
I
game,
like it.
but
I
I'm
watch it.
watching it
Yeah, I
all
watch
the
it too.
time.
Like I'm like in it into it also. So it's really fun.
Yeah, I can't get into it though.
All right, but yeah. Oh wait, one more comment real quick. Kenny K said, "I'm trying to cook for Super Bowl, but y'all, it's a lot going on over here. So in my mind, I'm already preparing things down, working on my cheese dip.
Ooh,
Oh, nice.
cheese dip. Come on through, kidney.
Yeah, Latin Budget said the commercials interest me. Yes, the commercials are
Yes,
funny. And I don't
yes.
know if y'all remember that year Tubi did a commercial where they like cut the TV off and had everybody confused. Like everybody thought that they TV went
Yep.
off.
They've had some wonderful commercials through the years. Some of the best commercials have shown up during the Super Bowl, so I do love the commercials too,
Mm-hmm.
Alice. Oh, this is a good comment from Candy too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Let me see if I can. She said, I wonder what that is that makes us be so obviously in need of help, which is why people ask us if they can help, yet we always go, um, with what I guess we think is the appropriate response. Why do we do
Mm-hmm.
that?
Yeah, that's been a question for me. I know me and you've had that conversation too, T, before, maybe on live about how I was thinking. I was trying to figure out if it was a humility thing or a lack of trust. That was my
I
questions.
think it's pride and lack of trust.
Yes, yes, okay, yeah. Then that's what this conversation. I was like, is it pride or is it lack of trust?
I think it's
You
a
know,
combo.
I think for me it could be both, but more times than not a lack of trust.
For me, it's
Because
been both though, because I
oh
know
yeah, I
that.
guess it could be both too.
Mhm.
Because what I was gonna say is, I'm sorry, T. What I was gonna say is like the people that I trust, I know that I trust. One of the reasons I trust them is because I know that they're not gonna throw it back at me. And I think the throw it back at part is the pride part. So
That
yeah,
is why you have
yeah,
pride involved there, because if you've ever had that happen, if you've ever had that thrown back in your face kind of thing going on, it will
yeah.
cause you to say, well, I'm never gonna, I don't want help, because all they're gonna do is
Mm-hmm.
throw it back in
Right.
my face. I'd
Yeah.
rather I'd rather sink than have somebody throw it back in my face. And
Yeah.
that's that where that pride comes in. So I think it's a combo. I think
I
for
think it is
most
too.
people
Yeah.
it's the combo.
It's the combo because I'm thinking
Mhm.
like when I do ask for help, like all my life when it comes to people I ask for help, it's been my dad, my little sister, occasionally, very, very occasionally, my older sister. That's it.
Mhm.
And I'm just like, these are my family, close family members. I know that they're not ever gonna do that. You know what I mean? I help them too. We're family. But a friend, because honestly, I've had friends like low key tell me stuff like, I say friends, these are not people in my life currently, but
Yeah.
I would have a friend that would tell me that another friend needed to use some money off her credit card. And that same friend tell me, if you ever need me to order you anything or do, I'm like, I don't want you telling people my business. Like in the
Yeah,
back of
you
my
just
head.
told me what the other friend
Yeah,
did. So if I
like,
get you're gonna be talking
yeah,
about me
and
with
it's
somebody
like when
else.
she told me it wasn't to like when she was telling me about her other friend, it wasn't to be messy or anything. It's just kind of like in passing, like, yeah, so and so wanted me to ask me could I use whatever, whatever for this. And I'm like, okay.
Mhm.
But then a couple months later, I'm in a situation and you're like, if you need anything, if you want me to DoorDash you or order you some, I'm good. I'm fine. It's easy for me to say that to that type of
Mhm.
thing. But that is pride.
That is.
Because if I really need help, I shouldn't care about you telling other people how you help me. So
But
yeah,
there is a,
both.
yeah, I think it's a mixture. It's just like a combo.
Yeah.
It's that pride thing, and then it's that some people just flat out, like, I think we do have a, um I don't even know what I would call it. I don't want to say feeling like like you're failing if you ask for help, but there is
Mhm.
that twinge of that twinge of asking for help makes me
Less.
weak or less than,
Yeah.
or to be looked down on, if that makes
And
sense. Does
that's
that
not,
make
yeah, and
sense?
it's true because I feel like we can all relate to that, but it's not true. Like that's not,
Mhm.
needing help doesn't mean that. It's one of those things where there's a strength in being vulnerable and humble enough to ask for help. I agree with that. But
Everybody
also,
needs it at some time.
yeah, but also for like what Kenny said, if somebody is just deeply struggling with something, it's best to just show up for them. Don't even put them through that. necessarily.
And you'll know the person by how many times you've offered help before,
Hmm.
and they've always said it's okay, only for you to find out later that they were really going through something at that time. Because usually you find out later the person was actually going through something, and they
Hmm.
probably could have used your help, but they still didn't say it. You usually find out those things. I
Right.
know I found out those things,
Hmm.
when my friends were going through things where they told me, "Oh, I'm fine,"
Hmm.
only later on to find out, no, they weren't fine. They
Yeah.
weren't fine at all.
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
All right. So one more gem drop, and this one is from the first love chapter, which
Mhm.
was let them show you who they are. This part of the chapter says they don't like you. Wake up.
That's hard. Oh
I
God, that's
know.
hard.
I know. All right. Says the only way you learn the only way hold on. The only way you learn who someone is and where you stand in their life is by watching their behavior. Forget what they say, watch what they do. That
Mm-mm.
can be hard to do because in the beginning, your emotions and hormones are all over the place. They can cloud your ability to see the truth about how you're being treated. One question that you can always ask yourself to snap out of the dating fog is, if your best friend were being treated this way, what would you tell them? One of the fundamental principles of the let them theory is that people's behavior tells you exactly where you stand in their life. You need to understand this is very black and white. You are either a priority or you're not. There is no middle ground. Let them show you who they are. If you're busy chasing someone, you will never allow yourself to see the reality that someone else doesn't like you the way you want them to. If somebody's sending you mixed signals, it means they're not interested. Mixed signals aren't mixed at all. They send a very clear message that you are not a priority, you are a convenience. For example, if they're texting you nonstop, but they never suggest a plan to get together, they're not interested in anything real. Let them text nonstop. If you want to, if they want to see you every time they're back in town, but never follow up whenever they leave, they're not interested in anything more than sex. Let them. They aren't the problem. You are. You're not valuing your time enough to realize that this is going nowhere. You need the let me part of the theory. Let me wake up and be honest with myself. Let the more I chase this person, um the more time I spend texting this person, the more I live in my head creating a fantasy that they are eventually going to come around and see we are meant for each other, the less likely I'm going to meet a person who wants a real relationship. Let me respect myself enough to admit that this is going nowhere. When someone is stringing you along, let them. You always have the power to cut the cord. You are an active participant in the stringing along because you're allowing them to do it. If you are in a positive, loving relationship now, you roll your eyes if they text back. Wait. And if you're in a positive, loving relationship right now, you roll your eyes if they text you for a hookup. So admit your part in your own demise right now and take your power back. I think that's pretty much it, the part that I wanted to read.
That was good too.
Yeah,
Woo, she started it off cold though.
she did.
She
She
was
did.
cold and to
They
the
don't like
point.
you. Wake
They
up.
don't like you.
But it couldn't be more true. You know what I mean? And that's what the example I was talking about earlier. Like, when I met Logan, like I literally never had anybody come in my life and act like that behind me ever in my life. It was kind of like, huh. Like I don't remember me texting you, T, like telling you what was going on. Like,
Mhm.
it's just like effortless. It's effortless. If somebody's making you feel like you have to chase validation and or somebody in the comments,
I had to give Kendi that little acknowledgement on that one.
what you saying?
She said, hold on, let me get my comment up there. Hold on. Um, at 50, I'm no longer chasing friends or family for love. I'm choosing me.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yep. And the beautiful thing about this, that simple fact is, first of all, it's never too early and it's never too late. Whether you in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, it's never too early or too late to set these boundaries and put them in place and stand on business behind yourself. Okay? Like stand on business behind yourself. I'll tell you this. For me, for somebody who may have been more passive, more easy to, more people pleaser ish,
Mhm.
set those boundaries, stand on business. Whoever falls off to the wayside, let them stay there.
Bye
Let them stay there. Because one thing about it, people do not like for you to change in a way where they can no longer control you. They do not like it. Let them.
I
Amen.
ask you
Okay.
one thing.
Huh.
I got to ask you one thing when you finish.
I'm done.
What was the one thing that convinced you with Logan that that was it? That was
Um,
different
like,
in correlation to what we've read.
okay, I would say honestly, I really didn't know he was special from jump. So I'm glad you made it specific to this because
Hmm.
it was just kind of like from first, I'm just like, this person is different in a lot of different ways. But it was claiming me. Like we're talking and just I'm such a friend zone type of girl. I don't care. I was talking about fearful avoidant. I can like you,
Hmm.
but I can also be like, no, I'm good.
Hmm.
Ain't no friend zone. He did that so fast. He like, I don't have female friends.
Ooh.
I don't have female friends. Like, I'm talking to you because like not in a disrespectful way, but in a very, this is what I'm here for.
He's like, I'm dating you with intent. There is
Yes.
intention behind
Yes.
but I'm okay.
Like, I'm not just talking to you for fun. This is
Mm.
not just, even though we're cool right now, this is the very beginning. We're cool and this is, I'm not pushing anything on you. But just know, no, this is not just some lolly, happy go lucky conversation.
Nice.
And he literally said, I don't have female friends.
He was like, I don't know
Like
what you're
that's
talking
not what
about.
this is,
He's like, obviously you have the wrong idea.
Right.
So let me get that straightened out.
Yeah, but yeah, so that that's the first thing that came to mind. But just the feeling of like they make it clear. They make it super abundantly clear when they're serious. And like I said, when I was single, I just you would hear people say that, and I would just be like, oh, like that's nice. But then I experienced it, and I was like, wow, they
Hmm.
do make it super clear, you know. And
Period.
and I and also, yeah, I was reading the comments.
Okay.
She said, "Good question. Oh, great discussion, Osmond and T. Thank you, Candy."
Thank you, Candy.
Yeah, our hour is coming up fast. It definitely went
Yes,
by
it
fast today.
is. Did anyone have anything that they would like to share from the viewers? I see Sabrina says, I'm not giving my energy to things or people that don't serve a purpose in my life. And
Absolutely.
definitely choose me. Yes.
Absolutely. That's the first step, honestly. Like you when you start choosing yourself, and honestly, I want to make a video about this too, because it's been like different ideas been coming up in my head. I haven't had a streamlined thought about it, but the more you start choosing yourself, the more you start showing up authentically, the more you start releasing validation to other people, your life literally changes in such a beautiful way. And it's perfectly aligned with the truth to who you are. You know what I mean? No more like
Mm.
putting up with stuff that I wouldn't really put up with because I feel like I value this person in my life. No more of those compromising things. So it's like when you start choosing yourself, everything just unfolds really beautifully.
Yeah, and it feels like you don't have to. It seems like, yeah, things just fall into place almost.
Hmm.
Like you don't really have to try.
Right. It's just
I think we
you're
spend
in
a lot of time
alignment.
trying,
Yeah. Yep. You're just in alignment. It's just
but you just,
like
yes.
you don't have to act a certain way. You know what I mean? And that's why when I knew I was like dating, especially when I got to a point of actually knowing who my authentic self was, because there were like layers I had to pull back to really
Hmm.
get that. Right. But once I realized, how to show up authentically, I refuse to be any other way, because especially when dating, because imagine somebody falling in love with a version of you that is not really who you are.
Whew.
How miserable that would be.
For you
Like
and them.
for you and them. Yeah.
Let's be real.
Especially for yeah, because I was thinking like for you, because you got to keep on doing it.
Hmm.
But it's if you allow people to, if you first of all learn to accept yourself, flaws and all, and then you're able to show flaws and all, and they still accept you based on what you show them, it's perfect. It's perfect as it gets in our days.
Hmm.
That's
But
so
there's
true,
some
Candy
benefits.
Cane.
Yes, Candy.
Yes.
Exactly, Allison. It's just like you don't even have to try anymore. It just you just once you've hit that, and also like not when you were Osland talking about how you don't have to. When I was saying that it's bad for you and it's bad for the other person in that situation, when
Hmm.
you are being someone you're not your authentic self.
Hmm.
This is where we see people say stuff like, "I don't even know who I was with. I don't even
Yes.
know who I was married to all these years,"
Yeah.
because they were not showing up
Right.
authentically.
Hmm.
So it can feel like I don't even know who this person
Right.
is. You
Yeah.
know? So
Yeah. And
yeah.
then it would make you wonder, like, because it would make me wonder, like, how can somebody be that way for so long? But the crazy part about it is, honestly, I think a lot of people have just started showing up in a way that's not really authentically who they are, but they might not even know that. You know what I mean? Like, they might not even know that the way that they are, certain things that they do and say and act is because they were told this is how they had to
You
be,
should.
or
You
this
should.
is how, like, when I show up like this is how people
Hmm.
receive me and show love. And if people saw this side of me, oh, they wouldn't want to have nothing to do with me, so I'm just going to continue to be this person, but
Hmm.
it's not really you, man. But sometimes I feel
Yeah.
like people don't know that, because it starts from young.
I don't think I honestly I did that for a long time when I was younger. I think I was inauthentically myself.
Hmm.
Um
I feel like I was
Trying
too.
to be the image of what
Trying to find your
um
place. And
yeah, like you're supposed to be like this, and girls are
yeah.
supposed to act like that, and you're supposed a lady is like this, and you're
Yeah.
trying to do all of those things that make you whatever
Hmm.
to whoever, you know.
Right.
Um but there is no kind of peace like the peace you find
Absolutely.
when
And I honestly, I was going to say too, I feel like anybody that struggles with or has struggled with people pleasing also can relate to that, because the whole essence of people pleasing is like you're gonna do whatever to make the next person happy. So how many times do you have to abandon yourself by doing something that you don't really want to do, but you don't want to make this person mad, you don't want to disappoint them, so you're gonna like you're just rejecting your authentic self, because you feel like if you say no, oh, this person's gonna leave me, this person's not gonna, how am I gonna be
Mhm.
perceived if I say no or be honest, even though I'm being honest, you know? So yeah.
I think of Runaway Bride when I think about that. You remember that movie? Have you ever watched that movie?
No.
These men like keep trying to marry her, and each man is completely different, and she changes herself every time she's with the next man. What they like, she likes. What they want to do, she wants to do. All those things, but then she gets to the altar and she can't do it. He couldn't go
Mm.
through with it. And then it's the next man, and he's completely different.
Oh
And
wow.
she's just doing whatever to be. I think that's what people do sometimes, is that
Mhm.
they mold themselves.
Especially if they're fixated on a certain person.
Mm-hmm.
If they're fixated on a person, you're gonna see what they like and try to match it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would love for everyone, and I feel like I don't know if it's just my algorithm and the stuff I watch, but I seem like more and more people are coming to realize these things.
They
Like
are.
more and more people are taking the mask off and
Mm-hmm.
just being themselves. And the video I did, I had the title in my mind was authenticity equals magnetic repellent, because that's exactly what it is. The
Mm-hmm.
more you show up as your authentic self, you're going to magnetize the people that are authentically drawn to you, which is such a beautiful thing. That is such a beautiful thing. And you're also going to repel the people that are not. And that's also a beautiful thing. As long as you can
Mm-hmm.
understand that not everybody is for you, as long as you're okay with that, you show up to your authentic self, everything else is going to just naturally align.
It's a beautiful balance.
It's a beautiful balance.
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
agree. Well, I think we have.
We hit our
We
hour.
hit our
We went by
hour.
fast.
That was a good conversation, though.
Yeah,
Very good conversation and a lot of topics. Yeah.
absolutely. And also thanks to everyone in the chat too for joining the
Yes, for
conversation, because
writing it
y'all
out.
definitely make it better. Y'all make it so much better with your input and personal experiences
Hmm.
and everything.
It makes it so much better. And honestly, you guys, I want you to be on the lookout for a poll
Hmm.
between now and next Sunday. We're gonna give some idea, throw out ideas for our next book, and we want you guys to have some input in what we do next.
Yep,
So
because
we're
next
gonna.
week is our last week in the lecture
This is
series.
the last week of this book next week, and
Woo!
it'll be over, and we will be moving on. So, but we want some audience input. So we're gonna put out a poll and get your reaction to some of the books that we're considering. Also, for that poll, if you have any additional
Hmm.
considerations,
Recommendations.
yeah, throw
Yeah,
that in there
right. Because,
because.
we're building a list here.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yes. But Oslin, it's always beautiful to work with you. Like you're
Absolutely.
amazing.
I know it's always fun.
Very cool
We got
person.
it in early. We got it in early versus canceling, which is
Hmm.
for me, T, what I told you this was gonna do, build my discipline and consistency
Hmm.
muscle. Period. I'm on a streak right now.
We're
Okay.
showing up.
We're showing up.
Yep,
Absolutely. And it feels good to do so.
it does. It does.
And so yeah, so everyone, thank y'all so much for being here. Happy
Thank
Super Bowl
you.
Sunday. Enjoy your time with your family and friends. Whether you watching the commercials, the Super Bowl, you rooting for a team, just have fun, be safe. And this week we're going to be reading the rest of the book. So it's I
This will be
guess
the last week.
19, 20, 21.
1920 and 21 is really the conclusion.
Okay.
So it's like
Yeah.
it's a conclusion chapter.
All right. Yep. So from 19 on, we're finishing the book, and like T said, there'll be a poll throughout the
Hmm.
week. Drop your recommendations and let us know. But other than that, thank y'all so much for being here.
Thank you
Um,
guys. Thank
and
you
have a great rest of
everyone
your
and
weekend. Have
everyone
a
on the
great week.
replay.
Yes. All right. Bye, T. Bye, everybody.
Bye.